Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What kind of slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. Bettor Off Dead, Sunday, July 20th. I always say that as a question because who even knows, man? Nobody ever knows what day it is. I especially do not know. We went 1-1 on the show yesterday with the 2 first 5-inning unders. The first one won, Red Sox Cubs. Imanaga had a really good start in that one. My Red Sox not doing well against some of these better teams in the league here. Bayo was actually good. I mean, he was good enough to get us through that. It was 3-0 into the 5th inning, so a little bit on the edge, but not really because we had the under 5 in that one. So I was like, all right, I think this one's going to get there. The other one did not get there as we got blown up by both Freddie Peralta, who walked a surprising amount of guys in the game, even though he's not really a guy that like keeps a clean sheet as far as walks are concerned, but he was just not good yesterday. And Emmett Sheehan only made it 3 innings. He got blown up as well. He did not have a good game either. So the Milwaukee and Dodgers first 5 under did not happen. I'm keeping it very short today, very selective. I'm going to have one play today, and it's a full game side that I think is the best play on the board today, and that is the only thing I'm going to give out as a play today. Tommy, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, let's go. We can get right into it, man. So let's I'm trying to get my here we go. Let's go, baby. We're going to get right into the rundown here. Start talking about Major League Baseball here. All right. So we have afternoon games today because it is Sunday. So teams are going to have to, it's getaway day. So teams are going to be traveling and whatever to start new series in some cases. First game up is going to be in a couple hours, noon Eastern, San Francisco at Toronto. San Francisco is trying to avoid the sweep here now, and Toronto, I believe, is playing the Yankees next, so it is a little bit of a look-ahead spot for Toronto. So my first instinct here is I think San Francisco probably should come with a little bit of intensity in this game, trying to avoid the sweep. Toronto might take them a little bit lightly after beating them twice with a huge series against the Yankees coming up next. It's going to be an even bigger series for the Yankees, to be honest. I think Toronto overtook them in the East and swept them last time, so we'll talk about that when that series starts, either tomorrow or Tuesday. I forget when the series starts. Toronto used a little bit more of their relief staff yesterday as well. So probably a slight bullpen advantage goes to San Francisco here in this one. San Francisco has Robbie Ray on the mound, and he has been one of their best starters, which I know he's having a surprising season, man. 2.65 ERA, 1.08 whip. He's been really good. Both home and away, very similar numbers. Now, he did get named to an All-Star game, but it was not actually his first All-Star game. I believe it was his second. So I was thinking if it was his first All-Star game, a lot of times a guy who gets named to their first All-Star game, they can be a little bit distracted, especially if they play in the All-Star game. The first time they start before and after it, it could be a little bit of a distraction, but it was not his first All-Star nod, and he didn't pitch in the game, as you can see here, because ESPN actually puts it on the game log, so he did not pitch in that game. So I think we have to dial that back a little bit, and probably we expect Ray to continue pitching well here. That would be my opinion, which he has been doing. He has a 2.18 ERA this month in 3 starts against good offenses, too. Arizona, Philadelphia, Dodgers. Didn't allow more than 2 earned runs in any of them. 18-6 strikeout walk ratio, so his walk rate went a little bit up, but he's still continuing to just have a really good season, pretty consistent. Good numbers against Toronto as well in 51 at-bats, 13-2 strikeout walk ratio, 235 batting average, and 676 OPS. So I am liking how this looks for Robbie Ray in this game. He's going up against Jose Barrios, 3.75 ERA, 1.24 whip. I mean, he's a decent pitcher. It's been that way for a long time. He is a little bit worse at home, 4.14 home ERA, and he has not been good this month. So Robbie Ray is in the much better form. Barrios, 7.43 ERA this month in 3 starts, and 8-4 strikeout walk ratio. So he is really kind of fallen off this month, even though his team won 2 of those games anyway. One was his good start against the White Sox, but terrible offense. He pitched poorly against the Yankees and pitched poorly at the A's stadium, but then again, those are difficult draws because you're having to face probably the best offense in baseball in the Yankees, and the A's have a pretty good offense as well, and facing them in that park is pretty ridiculous. Maybe you give him a little bit of a pass, but he is not pitching that well right now, and his numbers against San Francisco are actually not great. In 72 at-bats, 250 batting average looks good, 14-4 strikeout walk ratio, pretty good. 786 OPS, though. He's allowed 5 home runs to them. So not great. And I remember from Devers being on the Red Sox, Devers was one of the few guys that actually did okay against Barrios. Really, it was actually Duran is the one who hit Barrios really well, but Devers at least has hit him for power with 2 home runs off him. Chapman also has 2 home runs off him. Adames, though, actually has the best numbers, 5 for 7 with a home run. So not the greatest numbers for Barrios there. So my lean in that game is going to be towards the Giants, but the money looks like it's completely disagreeing with me on that. 60% of the tickets coming in on San Francisco, but 74% of the cash on Toronto. I'm staying away from that one. I don't love it when the market read is completely opposite what I think, but that is just not what I think. I think it is a spot for San Francisco. I think they have a starting pitching edge, the bullpen edge, and the situational edge, although obviously the one disadvantage San Francisco has is obviously that their offense is not very good. Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has won the first 2 games of this series, blowing Baltimore out 11-1 in the first game, which unfortunately wound up being a loss for me on the show here. Luckily, though, as I continue to clarify, I'm not actually betting these games right now. I'm just handicapping as if I were betting them, but trying to conserve some money for the time being. Yesterday, Tampa won 4-3, although actually Baltimore out-hit them 11-5 in this game yesterday. Baltimore had a 2-0 lead all the way into the 7th inning and then blew the entire game because, of course, Baltimore's bullpen is terrible. But that was kind of a misleading final score yesterday, man. Dean Creamer pitched well again yesterday. Both starters actually did pretty well in this game, and Tampa somehow got out of there with a win despite being out-hit 11-5 in the game. It seems like just very timely hitting from Tampa, untimely hitting or lack of timely hitting from Baltimore in that game. Not a whole lot of bullpen usage, although the Rays did use their closer. Rays did use a couple of their better relief pitchers, but overall, the Rays probably I would still give them the bullpen edge in this game. Baltimore's bullpen is so bad. Starting pitching here, Trevor Rogers pitching for Baltimore. He has been good so far. Small sample size so far this year, but he's doing well. 1.53 ERA, 0.82 whip. A little bit worse on the road, 2.18 ERA. Still not even bad, though. He has allowed 3 earned runs in 1 start once, and all the other starts he allowed 2 or fewer earned runs, but that 1 start that was his worst of the season was against Tampa at Tampa, so it was in the stadium. So Tampa specifically was the one team that actually did okay against him this season so far. Rogers, I'm still not totally sold on him, though, even though I know he's pitching well. He has a .68 ERA this month. He's only allowed 1 run in 13 1/3 innings, 14-4 strikeout walk ratio. Last start was against Miami, so not very impressive. He's faced some weak offenses this year. Miami, Texas twice. Atlanta, mediocre offense, really. But still, he is pitching well. Against Tampa, though, he does not have good numbers. 19 at-bats, very small sample size, but 316 average allowed, 856 OPS, 6-4 strikeout walk ratio. And yeah, a lot of it was that one game that Rogers just had against Tampa that wasn't very good, but I'm kind of leaning against Rogers here, man, even though I know Tampa is on the verge of a sweep. So you got to look at it and think, well, maybe Baltimore is going to want to show up here and try to avoid the sweep. That is a motivating factor, although I don't think Tampa's going to overlook them in a spot like this because they have the White Sox next. So they don't really have a look-ahead spot to look ahead to there, or have a look-ahead spot in play here. Ryan Pepiot is pitching for Tampa, and he's at least the more proven of the two starters. As I mentioned with Rogers, just his career numbers and his numbers in AAA this year indicate that he probably isn't as good as he looks so far. I mean, at least with Pepiot, he's a little bit more predictable. You kind of know what he is. 3.38 ERA, 1.15 whip. Those are good numbers. Better at home as well, 3.13 ERA. But I would say dial that back just a little bit because he's allowed 18 home runs on the season, which is not good, and 14 of them have been in this stadium in Steinbrenner Field, the spring training stadium the Rays are playing in. So you definitely have to be aware of that. It's been a very home run conducive park. Pepiot's walk numbers haven't been that great over the last 2 months or so, walking at least 2 in all but one game, although that was his most recent game against the Red Sox. Did pitch okay in that game. Got no run support behind him. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but one start going all the way back into April. So he has been very consistent for the most part. Although that one really bad start was against Baltimore. He had one really good start against Baltimore right before that, though. So Baltimore had just seen him, and then they completely knocked him around in the next start. But I think that start was more of an outlier. I think that what's going to happen today is, I mean, this isn't going out on a limb saying he's going to land somewhere in the middle this time. He's not going to go 8 innings with 11 strikeouts like he did in the first game against Baltimore, but he's not going to last 1 2/3 and get bombed and allow 4 runs in this game either. So it's going to be somewhere in the middle for Pepiot. His numbers are good against Baltimore overall. 72 at-bats, 23-4 strikeout walk ratio, 208 average, and 597 OPS. So I think we have a starting pitching edge here for Tampa. I think the hitting is not really a huge advantage one way or the other, and I think we still have a Tampa bullpen edge here as well. So I do lean to Tampa to complete the sweep here. They are sitting up from -118 to -119. Do get a pretty cheap price on them if you do like Tampa. 67% of tickets, 92% of the cash. So the money looks like it's agreeing with Tampa as well, and that is the way that I would lean in that game. Anaheim at Philadelphia. Philadelphia bounced back and got a win yesterday. Schwarber grand slam was pretty much the game-winning hit yesterday for Philadelphia. I mean, we're looking at 2 bad bullpens still, so you got to keep that in mind, man. Philly basically went with sort of a bullpen approach yesterday because Taijuan Walker never goes deep into games anymore. Angels had to use their bullpen after the 5th inning yesterday, so we're looking at some pretty tired bullpens. Angels used a lot of their bullpen the day before that, too. So fading the bullpens in this game probably does make sense. Jose Soriano is going to be pitching for Anaheim. 3.9 ERA looks good, but 1.45 whip indicates that all is not good for Soriano. That is a very bad whip, although he's been way better on the road. 2.47 road ERA. But he's having to face a really good Philly lineup here, and he has not been pitching well overall, man. Last 3 starts, really his last 2 starts are really bad, but last 3 starts this month, even though he had a 3.38 ERA, a 14-10 strikeout walk ratio, that is something that you can't look past, man. 10 walks in 16 innings, really bad. 8 walks in the last 9 innings, allowing 6 earned runs over that span. That's really bad. And only with 7 strikeouts over that span as well. So he is not getting it done right now. He's walking too many guys. He's not in good form. Very small sample size of 4 at-bats against Philadelphia, but they have 4 RBIs against them. They're 2 for 4, 500 average, 1,600 OPS, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. So in that very small amount of playing time, Soriano has not done well against Philadelphia. Suarez is pitching for Philly, the guy who got the All-Star snub. So because he was snubbed from the All-Star game and a big deal was made of it, I kind of think he's going to want to come out and pitch well because of that here, coming right out of the All-Star break. He has been pitching well this season, 2.15 ERA, 1.06 whip. A little bit worse at home, though, 3.12 ERA. And recently his walk numbers have started going up again, and that was the issue that I had with him really throughout his career. And that's why I said last year I thought he was going to regress a little bit. And I think maybe we're starting to see it happening again here, because last 2 starts he had an 11-5 strikeout walk ratio. Still didn't allow that many runs, 4 runs in 11 2/3, 3.09 ERA. But that walk rate is pretty bad. It's pretty high. So he's a little bit out of control right now, even though he still has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any starts. It's his first start of the season. So he is definitely pitching well still, but it looks like he's going a little bit out of form here, man. So I hesitate with Suarez a little bit. His numbers are good against Anaheim, though, in 37 at-bats, 189 batting average allowed, 682 OPS, higher than you would expect because he has allowed 3 home runs to them, 2 to Soler and 1 to d'Arnaud, but they don't have good batting averages against him. So all that being said, though, I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards an over in this game, even though I think Suarez does have reason to come out and pitch pretty well in this game. I definitely don't trust the form that Soriano is in. Suarez's form is a little bit worse right now. Soriano doesn't do particularly well against Philly, I believe, right? Isn't that what I just said? Yeah, small sample size, though. And the bullpens are just fade material in this one, so I think the over might make sense. Total is up a little bit from 8.5 to 9. 64% of tickets, only 62% of cash on the over, though. But the way that I'm thinking is the over in that one. Andrew, what's up, man? Talking about your Anaheim Angels there again. And Philly is a fairly substantial favorite, but they're down from -180 to -172. And they are very public. 90% of tickets 90% of tickets, 94% of the cash. But those numbers basically are just telling me Philadelphia is a very public team and probably not really a team that you want to have your money on in a game like that. So, yeah, that's how I look at that game, even though I would say Suarez obviously is the better starter over Soriano, though. And Philadelphia probably does still have the better bullpen, and they obviously have the better offense. So they do have the advantages across the board in the game. But you're having to pay a lot for it. White Sox at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is just having a terrible series, even though they have been a better home team this year. They've gotten absolutely battered in this series. They've given up 10 runs in both games, losing both of them. Maybe it's time for Pittsburgh to turn it around a little bit in this game, though. I mean, as I said, the White Sox do have, I guess a bigger series coming up next against Tampa Bay, I believe is what I said. More bullpen usage on the side of the White Sox here. So maybe the White Sox not set up that well in this game. Maybe you give Pittsburgh a little bit of a bullpen edge in this game. When would you ever say Pittsburgh has a bullpen edge? But against another bad team that's used more of their bullpen, that may be the case. Aaron Savali is going to be pitching for the White Sox here. They picked him up not that long ago, and he hasn't been good with the White Sox or otherwise. 5.3 ERA this year, 1.48 whip. Those are bad numbers. A little bit worse on the road, too. 5.52 road ERA. Since being acquired by the White Sox are 0-6 in his starts. He's been pretty bad, man. I mean, he's just continuing to pitch as bad as he has been all season, pretty much. This month at 3 starts, pretty bad stuff. 6.75 ERA, 7-6 strikeout walk ratio. As I said, all 3 games were losses. He allowed 4 or more runs in each of the last 2. That's not good. I mean, those numbers are just not going to be getting the job done against anybody, including against Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh actually hits him well in 91 career at-bats, so they have a big sample size against him, too. 286 batting average, 769 OPS. So I'm expecting Savale to maybe not do that well here. He's going up against Andrew Heaney, who I think does have the upper hand of the two here, even though his numbers are not great. 4.59 ERA, a little bit of a more tolerable 1.26 whip. And he has been pretty good at home, way better at home, actually, with a 2.53 home ERA. Maybe part of the reason why Pittsburgh has been a better home team. His recent form is not good, though. 4 of his last 5 starts have been atrocious, allowing 3 or more runs in all 4 of them, not even making it past the 4th inning in any of them. And it's been even worse in the last 2 starts, not making it past 3 innings in either of them. 2-2 strikeout walk ratio, allowing 7 earned runs in 5 innings and 4 home runs against 2 bad offenses, too, in Kansas City and Minnesota. Both on the road, though, but man, that is not a good sign. Heaney is not in good form right now, so I hesitate to want to back him here. He does have good numbers, well, decent numbers against the White Sox in 52 at-bats, 231 average allowed, a little bit of a high 747 OPS because he's allowed 3 home runs, 2 of them to Michael Taylor. Overall, though, I still give the edge to Pittsburgh here, though, man. I think Pittsburgh might actually have the edge all around, like situational. I think they have the starting pitching edge still in this game. Bullpen rest edge. Might have to give them the nod on the offense, too. I mean, where's their offense lie here? I mean, I know they're both not good offenses. These are the bottom two offenses in baseball. Looking at OPS, man, that's crazy. So I think, I might give Pittsburgh the slight nod in this one, though. So Pittsburgh, that would be the way I would lean in this one, but the money looks like it's against it. Pittsburgh's down from minus 145 to minus 130. Actually, pretty surprising. Pittsburgh is a public team. When is that ever the case? 77% of tickets, only 71% of the cash. So I hesitate to want to give that out as a play either, because there's reverse line movement coming in against a public Pittsburgh team, but that is kind of the way I have to lean in that one. Yankees at Atlanta. How is Atlanta going to respond, man, to yesterday? Atlanta had a 7-2 lead in the middle of the game yesterday, and they wound up blowing the whole lead and losing the game. I think 12-9 or something like that was the final. I told you the over was the way that I looked in the game yesterday, and that did happen. But, man, Atlanta, will they be able to bounce back from that? Because they had the Yankees on the ropes, man. They were about to beat the Yankees twice in a row, and then they completely imploded. Both bullpens saw a pretty good amount of usage yesterday, so I would not want to back either bullpen in this game. So maybe we're looking at more offense in this game too. Yankees have Marcus Stroman pitching today. He is not their best pitcher. He has a very evil 6.66 ERA. That is not good, man. It's demonic. 1.64 whip. His stats have been bad. It's a small sample size. He's trying to come back from injury, but hasn't been good. I mean, I guess looking at the amount of runs that he's allowed, it doesn't look that bad, allowing 3 or fewer in the last 3 starts, but he's gone exactly 5 innings in each of those, so he's not really going deep into these games. His strikeout rate hasn't been very impressive over those last 4 starts. He has an 8-5 strikeout walk ratio. He's just not great, man. I mean, he'll come in, maybe get you some innings and keep you in the game. That's basically what his job is at this point. His numbers against Atlanta are pretty mediocre. 65 career bats, 277 batting average, 734 OPS. So I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of Stroman here. His numbers obviously have not been very good. He's going up against Grant Holmes, who has been the better of the two on the season. Holmes has a full season behind him, though. 3.77 ERA, but Holmes' whip is going up. 1.3 is not a good whip, man. He has been better at home, 2.77 ERA at home, but he's not pitching well recently. 16-8 strikeout walk ratio in 3 starts this month. Over the last 2 starts, 6-5. So he's kind of starting to go out of form, man. His last start, he only made it 3 innings and allowed 5 earned runs. Maybe you could say that was an outlier, because looking all the way back, even to the beginning of the season, he'd only allowed more than 3 earned runs 3 other times on the entire season, and hadn't done it at all since early May. So he was pitching quite well before that. So maybe it's an outlier, and maybe he'll bounce back a little bit, but he's facing a strong Yankees lineup here. Maybe the one edge that he does have here is that the Yankees have never seen him before, haven't seen a whole lot of him before. Only 3 of their hitters have seen him before, but they are 2 for 5 off him. No extra base hits, no strikeouts, no walks. So what do we do with this? I would say probably an over in this game. We have 93% of tickets and 92% of the cash on the over, though, so it is very public, but that's kind of the way that I'm looking at this. Total came out at a really high 9.5 with heavy juice on the over, and the juice has actually gone down a little bit. Juice is a little bit less loose in this case, but with the bullpen situation being the way that it is, not really trusting either starter here. I think that's kind of the way that I would have to lean here. The market read is saying Atlanta, though, as well, because Atlanta's a favorite here, and it's because Holmes is better than Stroman. But the public, I think, is going to look at this and think, how could Atlanta possibly be a favorite like this? How am I getting the Yankees, an above 500 team who won yesterday, one of the best teams in baseball, up against a below 500 Atlanta team? How am I getting the Yankees as an underdog? Like, it looks almost too easy to take the Yankees, and we have 68% of tickets on the Yankees, only 64% of the cash. So the Yankees are one of those dreaded road public underdogs here. I always tell you that in a case like that, you do want to look to the favorite. The books are still giving Atlanta a lot of respect, man, telling you that Atlanta still is not as bad as their record looks. I do agree with that. And that game is just going to be a stay away from me, though. San Diego at Washington. Pretty good pitching matchup in this one. Interesting pitching matchup. Washington won 4-2 yesterday to even the series at 1 apiece. Some bullpen usage yesterday, but Washington did use some of their best relievers yesterday. Washington, terrible bullpen. So San Diego does have the bullpen edge here. They've been using a lot of their bullpen recently, but they didn't have to use as much of it yesterday. So I do think San Diego has a fairly substantial bullpen edge in this game. I'll probably give San Diego a little bit of the edge on offense as well. And I might give them the starting pitching edge too. Nick Pivetta pitching for them, definitely having a good season. 2.88 ERA, 1.02 whip. He's been worse on the road, though. 4.09 road ERA, so he pitches a lot better in the pitcher-friendly park in San Diego. He is in good form this month, though, in 3 starts with a .49 ERA in 3 starts. He's allowed 1 earned run across that entire span against Philly twice and Arizona. That is pretty impressive. 21-5 strikeout walk ratio. Start before that was actually against Washington, and he dominated them in 7 innings, allowing no runs, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, and no walks. So he has been in good form for a while now, and he did dominate this Washington team the last time out. He does have good numbers against them in general, and 65 at-bats, 22-6 strikeout walk ratio, 200 batting average against him, 483 OPS. And one of the points that I do make is a lot of times when a starter did just face an opposing offense, a lot of times that offense will do better the next time out against them, and maybe they will. I mean, it's hard not to do better because he completely shut them out. But when it's a veteran like Nick Pivetta, I mean, you're familiar with what Pivetta throws, so sometimes it is just a matchup thing where I know I got some of that wrong the last couple of days, but sometimes it is just a matchup thing. Pivetta, he is a veteran, so it's not like Washington was unfamiliar with him coming into that game either. So, yes, they do have recent familiarity with him, but Pivetta has done really well against them. Mackenzie Gore is pitching for Washington here. He's been good, 3.02 ERA, 1.2 whip. Good at home as well, 2.39 home ERA. So the splits are in his favor, but I kind of would want to fade Gore here, man, to be honest, because he just pitched in the All-Star game, and I believe that was his first time being named to an All-Star team. So he's in one of those spots. We have a lot of guys today that are in a spot like that where they got named to their first All-Star game, and it might be a little bit of an issue. Like, it might distract that player a little bit, man, because it kind of throws them off schedule. They might be feeling good about that. He pitched a scoreless inning in the All-Star game, so he might come out of that and not pitch that well, and he was starting to struggle with his wildness a bit. The last 3 starts going into the All-Star break, he walked at least 3 in 3 out of the 4. 9-5 strikeout walk ratio in 2 starts this month. Not looking that great, even though he hasn't been allowing that many runs. His wildness is starting to crop up again, so I kind of prefer Pivetta on this one. Gore doesn't have numbers that are that good against San Diego, and 59 at-bats. Pretty bad 15-12 strikeout walk ratio, so again, the wildness kind of coming into play there. 271 batting average and 801 OPS. So my lean in this game would be to San Diego for all those reasons. They are a very public road favorite, though, so I have some hesitations on it, but I would say that out of the games that I'm not giving out plays on, I thought this was one of the stronger ones, so I was liking Tampa Bay. Out of these so far, Tampa Bay and San Diego were kind of the two that I was looking at. 90% of tickets, 93% of the cash on San Diego, and they are up from -110 to -123, so this has the market look to me like it is the public and the professionals are actually all agreeing on San Diego, which sometimes you don't want to do that because that does mean the books are going to need San Diego to probably lose that game, and they'll probably be tied into parlays and stuff as well. So with those parlays, the books just need one of those teams to lose. Maybe it'll be San Diego, I don't know, but I do have to lean to San Diego in that one based on the handicap of that. Speaking of players who pitched in their first All-Star game or had their first All-Star nod, that's what we have going on here in Cincinnati and the Mets, because that is the case with both of the starting pitchers in this game here. Mets are on the verge of getting swept, and they are at home, so you got to kind of expect Mets probably going to come up with some fire here, man. I mean, you don't want to get swept at home by the Reds, man. And the Mets are the better team, so I do think the Mets are going to come out with some fire on this one. Cincinnati actually used a decent amount of their bullpen yesterday, so I think you have to give the Mets the bullpen edge in this game as well. Andrew Abbott is pitching for Cincinnati. As I said, he was named to the All-Star team, and rightfully so. I think he was a replacement, too, but he's been really good this year. 2.07 ERA, 1.08 whip. He's having a great season. Very good both home and away. Did pitch in the All-Star game, had a scoreless inning in the All-Star game. He was pitching pretty well going into the All-Star game. He had one good start prior to the All-Star game, dominating Miami pretty much. Going 7 2/3, line 1 earned run. But he had a bad start at Philly the game before that. But that looked like it was kind of an outlier because it's a good offense. It was a tough assignment to go face them on the road. Basically, his other starts, he was doing really well prior to that. So I am going to chalk that up to being a little bit of an outlier. So I do like Abbott, but because he's coming off his first All-Star appearance, his first time being named to the All-Star team, again, I think that has kind of a hangover effect. So I don't know that I love Abbott in this game, and his numbers against the Mets are not good. In 32 at-bats, they've hit him well. 6-4 strikeout walk ratio, 375 average, 944 OPS. So I think Abbott is actually fadeable in this spot. He's going up against David Peterson, who, I don't particularly like David Peterson because his stats suggest that he should regress at some point, but he's been doing this for a couple of years now. He has a 3.06 ERA, a 1.24 whip, which is a little bit high. He's been really good at home, 2.11 ERA at home, so definitely better at home. He pitched in his first All-Star game as well. That was his first All-Star game, I believe. He got to pitch in it. He pitched a scoreless inning as well, got out of a jam where he allowed 2 hits. He was pitching fairly well going into the All-Star break with a 10-3 strikeout walk ratio over the prior 2 starts, but the 2 starts prior to that, he did not even make it 5 innings, and 4 starts in a row. He walked 3 guys apiece in 4 starts in a row before the good start against Baltimore. Going into the All-Star break, we had a 7-inning, 1-run performance in that one. So he actually wasn't in the greatest form there. And I don't know if that Baltimore start means he's coming back into form because he pitched in the All-Star game. So I again think that might throw you off schedule, be a little bit of a distraction. And his numbers are bad against the Reds in 23 at-bats, 5-6 strikeout walk ratio. That's bad. 304 batting average, 883 OPS. So I'm thinking the over is the way you want to look in this game, man. It seems counterintuitive, and it actually looks like it's anti-public. 50% of tickets on the under, 65% of the cash on the over. Total just kind of sitting at 8.5, juice to the under. I think both starters could get lit up in this one, man. Even though they're both really good, I think it's a kind of a sneaky over here. And I think both bullpens are fairly untrustworthy. Both teams can hit a little bit here. Man, should I do it? I mean, it's that spot where you want to fade both these pitchers coming out of the All-Star game, too. Let me see. I'm going to look at Action Network quickly because looking at Action Network, it didn't look like it was the greatest thing. Let me see here. Total. I'm looking right now. Where is the total for this game? I'm not showing it on my screen just because this is it's something you do have to pay for and whatever. I'm not going to add the play on it, but man, I'm tempted to do it. That looks like a game where you do want to play the over in that one. We'll stay off of it, I guess, just because both starters, I mean, they do have the potential to come out and pitch well again. Man, that is close to me wanting to play that over in that game. That's the way I lean in that one. And as far as the side, the money looks like it is coming in towards Cincinnati. Mets down from -150 to -140. 67% of tickets and cash, both on the Mets. So the Mets are public. So it looks like the professional money is indicating towards the Cincinnati sweep here. The professionals, I'm assuming, like Abbott over Peterson, man. And maybe one reason to kind of dial it back on the over is that both pitchers are lefties, although I know I said that in the first game of that series, the lefty versus lefty matchup, and my under did not wind up winning in that one. But both of these lineups don't actually hit lefties particularly well either. They're both kind of in the bottom third against left-handed pitchers. Kansas City at Miami. Zach is about to come out of the woodwork here for his Royals here, who are about to get swept by Miami potentially here. This is it's a rough go of it for the Royals, man. I mean, they have one of the worst offenses in baseball. Excuse me. They couldn't even hit Cal Quantrill yesterday. Oh boy, not looking good for the Royals. Not a lot of bullpen usage yesterday on either side though. So bullpen's basically intact. You got to give Kansas City the bullpen edge. Looking at the starting pitchers, you would think you got to give Kansas City the starting pitching edge here with Bubich on the mound. He's having a good season, 2.48 ERA, 1.16 whip. I think he's coming back from injuries as well. I think him and Robbie Ray both are coming back from having I think they both might have had Tommy John surgery, but you can check me if I'm wrong on that. Bubic has been a little bit better on the road too, 2.13 road ERA. But he got named to his first All-Star game, man. He was struggling a little bit going into the All-Star game. He did have 12 strikeouts over the last 2 starts, and the Royals actually won both of those. They actually put up some offense in one of them against the Diamondbacks. But Bubic did have a 4.26 ERA across those 2, 4.26 ERA. Yeah, I guess is including the bad All-Star performance, so I don't know. But whatever. He gave up 3 runs each against Arizona and Pittsburgh, so it wasn't that great, and had 5 walks across that span of 12 2/3 innings. So he was allowing a lot of guys to reach base. So not that great. And then he went into the All-Star game and actually pitched really poorly. Gave up 3 runs in a third of an inning, walked a guy, didn't strike out anybody. 2 hits. So he had a bad performance in the All-Star game, which on the one hand means, well, maybe he wants to bounce back here. He should bounce back from a bad All-Star performance. But then again, I think he's just not in good form right now necessarily, man. And I think the All-Star appearance can kind of throw you off schedule and hang you over. The advantage he does have here is Miami has pretty much never seen him before, although Hill is the only guy who has seen him before, and he is 2 for 2 off him. So read into that what you want to. I wouldn't read too much into that, but I think he does have a little bit of an edge, I guess, because Miami hasn't seen him before. Miami actually probably has the better offense over Kansas City, which is how bad Kansas City's offense is. Jansen Junk is pitching for Miami, and he actually has not been junk. He's actually doing pretty well. 2.68 ERA, 0.99 whip, 1.89 ERA at home. Very good numbers for Junk, actually. And he was pitching well going into the All-Star break. 3 starts in the month of July, 12 to 2 strikeout walk ratio. Not a high strikeout rate, but he was not allowing a lot of hits at all. Not allowing a lot of walks, putting very few guys on base. Allowed 2 earned runs and then 0 in the next 2 starts. 0.95 ERA in June. And man, yeah, Junk, he's actually pitching well. He's allowed more than 2 earned runs only twice all season. I think he was coming out of the bullpen in some of those, but he is facing a weak offense here, Kansas City. They actually have not seen Junk before either. They're 2 for 4 off him, though, so the rest of their guys have never seen him before, so they have a lot of unfamiliarity with him. But they do have 2 guys. Only Frazier has hits off him, though. Frazier is 2 for 2 off him. So because of the unfamiliarity aspect of it, and because these offenses are not that good, I am still thinking maybe the under is the way you want to look at this game. Total's down from 8 to 7.5. I mean, it's a little bit risky to do that, but I think that might be the way to look in this game. The bullpens are fairly well rested. I don't know if you could trust Miami's bullpen necessarily, but Kansas City's bullpen is good, and Kansas City's offense is really weak, so that all being factored in, maybe the full game under does make sense. 62% of tickets, 91% of the cash on the under. I do worry about Bubic, though, like I said. I worry about these guys coming out of their first All-Star game, and we have a lot of them today. 64% of tickets, 78% of the cash on Kansas City indicates there is money coming in on them, but they're down from minus 132 to minus 117, so I'm not quite so sure what the market is telling us here. Kansas City is public. I don't really think they should be laying a favorite price here. I think it's because Bubic has been really good on the season. I think they're getting a little bit of too much respect here, man. I don't know how you could have a team that can't hit at all being favored on the road like that. Doesn't make any sense. I'm going to skip this game for now because that's A's Cleveland is a game I'm giving out a play. My Red Sox at the Cubs. Red Sox are on the verge of getting swept here. Like I said, Red Sox didn't even score yesterday. Imanaga pitched really well against them. Not a lot of bullpen usage on either side yesterday, so both bullpens are in good shape coming into this game. Starting pitching, we have Garrett Crochet pitching for the Red Sox. And since the Red Sox have started to hit, Garrett Crochet's win-loss record is looking a lot better. Red Sox getting a lot of wins in his starts as of late. He's been excellent. 2.23 ERA, 1.04 whip on the season. Really nice stuff. Really good both home and away. It doesn't even matter. I believe he was named to the All-Star team, but he didn't pitch in the game. So the last time he took the mound, he had a complete game shutout against Tampa with 9 strikeouts, no walks, allowing 3 hits. Red Sox have won, 7 of his last 8 starts. The Red Sox have won This month, he has a 16-2 strikeout walk ratio across 2 starts with a 1.29 ERA. Against Washington, though, very bad offense. And Tampa, they do have a decent offense, so pretty impressive start for Crochet against Tampa. Crochet has been really bad against the Cubs, though. So even though he's a great pitcher, he's in good form right now. You got to worry about these numbers against the Cubs. Small sample size, 17 at bats, but the Cubs have really hit him. 529 batting average, 1,673 OPS, although no walks against him. 5 strikeouts. But Horner and Happ both have home runs. I'm not liking what I'm seeing here, man. The Red Sox might get swept here. Best pitcher for the Red Sox on the mound here, but his matchup numbers look really bad. He's going to be going up against the weaker of the two pitchers, obviously, Cade Horton. But he's a young guy who a lot of offenses are just unfamiliar with him, so you don't really know what you're going to get out of Horton. 4.45 ERA, 1.41 whip. Cade Horton not as consistent as Scott Horton. Horton has been good at home, though, 2.54 ERA. But he's coming off a start where he was really bad against Minnesota on the road. Gave up 4 earned runs in 4 2/3, walked 2 guys, 6 hits, put a ton of guys on base. He did have 5 strikeouts, but he looks to be falling out of form a little bit here, man. Across the last 4 starts, he's failed to go 5 innings in 3 of them. He's allowed 2 or more walks in all of them. Strikeout rate has gone down as well. So Cade Horton not pitching well as of late. Maybe you don't trust him here. Yes, he's unfamiliar to the Red Sox. They've never seen him before, but he is not that great a pitcher, although the money seems to be indicating this is going to be a very low-scoring game, which it must mean there's wind blowing in at Wrigley today. The wind always seriously affects the total when the odds makers put the total out, so the wind coming off the lake, it must be blowing in this one, which is part of the reason why we see the total at 6.5 now, or I guess 6.5 with juice to the over, so maybe it's still kind of around 7. That seems like a low total to me, man, given that Crochet doesn't have good numbers against the Cubs. Cade Horton might be hittable here. Bullpens are intact, though, so I understand the sentiment that this could be a low-scoring game. Obviously, Crochet, whenever he's on the mound, you're going to see a pretty low total, but still, maybe the total here is too low. Red Sox are a road favorite here, which maybe is also not really justifiable. They're public, which is kind of weird. Like, I guess the public just loves that it's Crochet. 76% of tickets, 93% of the cash on the Red Sox, laying minus 135 as a road favorite. To me, I think that's too much of a price to lay with the Red Sox, man. Given that Crochet has bad matchup numbers, I think you are paying too much of a price for Crochet. I mean, you're talking about the Cubs, one of the best teams in baseball at home. Granted, yes, it is the Cubs with one of their lesser pitchers on the mound here. But again, I think maybe taking the shot with the Cubs money line does make sense. So the Red Sox are going to try to come out and avoid getting swept here. But I'm not too confident in it, given how bad Crochet's numbers are. It might make sense to just take the shot with the Cubs on the money line, roll with their offense, and roll with the unfamiliarity aspect of Horton, even though I don't know that you could trust him, really. Minnesota at Colorado. Colorado has actually won both games in this series. A lot of high scoring going on here, especially yesterday, 10-6. Colorado putting up some offense finally. 16 runs over these last 2 games. They got to Zebby Matthews yesterday. He gave up too many hard hits yesterday. His strikeout walk numbers were good, but he didn't do well in the game. But now Minnesota might be able to avoid the sweep here, man. Obviously, that's what they're going to try to do here. I mean, do you really want to go face the Rockies and get swept by the Rockies? But, of course, probably the public sentiment is going to be there's no way the Twins get swept by the Rockies, right? I still think the Twins are a little bit better than the record would indicate that they are. And they do have the guy for the job here if they're trying to avoid the sweep, Joe Ryan. It's just a matter of, do you think there's any distraction in his head here because everybody's talking about him maybe getting traded because Minnesota might be selling before the All-Star break. So we may see Joe Ryan get traded. Is that going to affect his mindset? I don't know, but he's been really good this season. 2.72 ERA, 0.91 whip, really good numbers this year. Very good both home and away. But speaking of guys named to their first All-Star game, Joe Ryan was also nominated. He was named to his first All-Star game, and he pitched. Scoreless inning in the game. Continuing the fact that he's been pretty good. This month he has a 2 ERA across 3 starts. I think that includes the All-Star game again, but still he had a 2-something ERA anyway. Giving up no more than 2 earned runs in any of the 3 starts this month. 17-3 strikeout walk ratio against some fairly weak offenses, but still, Ryan, he's very consistent. He's allowed more than 3 earned runs only 3 times all season. But he's pitching at Coors Field here, but he does pretty much dominate the Rockies in his history. In 31 at-bats, they only have 4 hits off him, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, 129 average, 375 OPS. So the question is Ryan going to be distracted because of all the trade rumors and because he's coming out of pitching in his first All-Star game? Those are the things you have to worry about Ryan, because otherwise, yes, Ryan is obviously the better starter here over German Marquez, who is not doing too well. 5.57 ERA, 1.6 whip. He's actually been slightly better at home, 5.03 ERA in Coors Field. And he's actually, for him, he's actually pitching a little bit better as of late, allowing more than 2 earned runs only once in his last 6 starts, which is actually pretty impressive for a guy like him. He's actually not been that bad. Even going all the way back into May, he only allowed more than 2 earned runs 2 other times, and he allowed 4 and 3 earned runs in those games. So Marquez is actually pitching well enough to keep his team in the game, but he doesn't have good numbers against Minnesota on 37 at-bats, 11-5 strikeout walk ratio. Some of their guys haven't seen him before, but the guys that have a 297 average, 786 OPS. So I don't know if we trust Marquez. Might see Ryan being a little bit distracted in this game. The total came out really high. I mean, for a Joe Ryan game, and given that Marquez has actually been not horrible recently, that total coming out at 11 seems crazy. The money is actually coming in on the under. It's all the way down to 10.5, 80% of tickets on the over, 78% of cash on the under. Minnesota's a huge road favorite, trying to avoid the sweep. In the minus 200s, minus 230, they're up to now. 83% of tickets, 91% of the cash on Minnesota. But again, Ryan might be in a little bit of a distracted spot here. So, I mean, this game is just going to be, this is a game I'm going to fade, man. I'm not going to play the game, I should say, obviously. This is a game that I think is just a total stay away. I mean, the one way you could look at it maybe is that you play on Minnesota to try to score some runs against Marquez, just because he does have bad matchup numbers, and just in general, he's really not that good. So maybe you try to play Minnesota to score 5-6 runs in the game, but Minnesota's offense is bad enough that doesn't seem that great either. JR, what's up, man? Good morning. Thanks for hanging out, and happy Sunday. Thanks for coming to my version of church here, I guess. Not to be blasphemous or anything. Houston at Seattle, the first thing you look at here is, holy crap, this is the best pitching matchup of the day. This is going to be an under, right? Hunter Brown against Brian Wu. Yeah, I mean, this looks like it's going to be a complete under type of play, right? But I will tell you why maybe that's a little bit risky to think that way. I mean, first of all, you go under in the full game in this one. You're looking at 2 teams that went 11 innings yesterday. Seattle, I believe, blew a lead in the game and then wound up winning anyway against Houston last night. Seattle, I believe, has won both games in the series so far. So Seattle's on a roll right now. They've won 5 games in a row. Houston trying to avoid the sweep here, though. But this series does mean something to Seattle, as they're behind Houston in the standings. Seattle definitely wants to get as close as they can to Houston here. But the reason why, first of all, I'm not going to be playing an under here full game is that the bullpens just got absolutely murdered yesterday. Both teams rolled out 7 guys out of the bullpen yesterday. So the bullpen situation, even though both bullpens are reasonably good, you don't want to deal with these bullpens here, man. They're massively taxed after yesterday. Okay, so what about early in the game, the starting pitching matchup? Well, there are some reasons why I don't love that idea either. Hunter Brown, yes, obviously he's been really good. 2.43 ERA, 0.96 whip. Also, I understand this is a very pitcher-friendly park, so keeping that in mind. Hunter Brown has the exact same ERA, both home and away. The model of consistency. Coming off a start where he really didn't do that well his last 2 starts against Cleveland and Texas, but I told you, I think he was distracted by the fact that he was named to his first All-Star team. He didn't pitch in the All-Star game, but that was his first All-Star nomination, or the first time he's been named to an All-Star game. So I think that did distract him. So I think he is going to start pitching better again after those 2 pretty bad starts, giving up 10 runs in 11 innings against Cleveland and Texas. Is he in bad form? I don't know, because he had 8 strikeouts and 2 walks against Texas. So that start, some aspects of it weren't as bad. So maybe he is going to come back into form. He has been good against Seattle in 104 at-bats. He's pretty much dominated them. 35-9 strikeout walk ratio, 202 batting average, allowed him 560 OPS. Brown has definitely been good against Seattle, but I'm worried that coming out of the All-Star break, maybe he will be still a little bit distracted. Maybe it's a little bit less of a worry, though, because he didn't pitch in the All-Star game, and he didn't pitch well going into the break. So maybe he will be refocused here and pitch better. He does have good matchup numbers. He's going up against Brian Wu, who, of course, is also having an excellent season. 2.75 ERA, 0.93 whip. He's been great. Really good at home. 1.8 home ERA. He did pitch in the All-Star game. He pitched one scoreless inning. I don't know how the NL got 6 runs in this game, man. Seeing all these AL pitchers that had scoreless innings in the game. It was mostly Bubic. Bubic gave up half of the runs. Brian Wu, I believe this is his first All-Star being named, the first time he was named to an All-Star game as well, in his first All-Star appearance. Will that hang him over to this game? I don't know, because he's been really consistent. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in the last 5 starts prior to the All-Star game. He's been really consistent all year. I mean, he's really an excellent pitcher. His numbers against Houston aren't quite as good, though, in 35 at-bats. 286 average. Not a lot of extra base hits, though. 648 OPS is still pretty low, so they still haven't done a ton of damage against him. So, yes, it does look like on the surface, both starting pitchers should do pretty well here, so it should be kind of an under type of game here. But again, I hesitate because of the all-star distraction surrounding both pitchers here being named to their first all-star game. Total came out at 6.5, which again, you know me, the key number is 7 in baseball because it breaks the 3-3 tie. I almost will never recommend going under 6.5. I just think there's not enough room for error there. So I just don't think you could do that. The total actually went up a little bit, though, to 6.5 juice to the over. So you might be able to find the under 7 full game, but I still wouldn't want to do that because the bullpen situation is awful here. Yes, both starting pitchers do have the potential to get you deep into the game, but I still don't know that you can trust the bullpens getting in there with such little room for error with the number here. And there's going to be little room for error in the first 5 innings as well. You'd have to go under 3 probably in the first 5 innings. Doesn't seem like the greatest idea to me either, so it's a stay away. But we do see the money coming in now on the under. 67% of tickets on the over, which seems weird to me. The public wants to come in and play an over here, but I guess they see, oh, Seattle and Houston, 2 offenses that can score. Let's go over, even though it's Brown versus Wu. Oh, man. 52% of the cash on the under, though. But if you like good pitching and pitching duels, I mean, this does set up like it might be one. So that one doesn't look like a bad game to me as far as that's concerned. Like these young, talented pitchers, man. Milwaukee at the Dodgers. Milwaukee's on the verge of sweeping the Dodgers again. Dodgers have lost 5 straight games to Milwaukee now. Is it going to happen? Are they really going to get swept here, man? I don't know. Dodgers couldn't get it done yesterday. Milwaukee, I mean, I don't trust either bullpen here, man. Neither bullpen is that good, although Milwaukee has actually been a fairly good bullpen over the last month or so. But Milwaukee, they've used their closer 2 straight games here. They've used a lot of the back end of their bullpen 2 straight games. So I don't think Milwaukee's bullpen is in a good situation here, man. They're not rested. Dodgers used a lot of their bullpen yesterday because Sheehan got knocked out of the game after 3 innings. Very difficult to see, especially when I liked the under early on in that game. But I do not like the bullpens coming into this game. And to me, it looks like this should be a pitching matchup that the Dodgers can win this game. I mean, Quintana's pitching for the Brewers, and I know he has a really good ERA, 3.28, but 1.36 whip indicates there's obviously something wrong with Quintana. He's been way better on the road, though. 1.82 road ERA, way better on the road. And he's still, somehow, he's just limiting the runs. Like, throughout the course of the season, he's allowed more than 3 earned runs, or more than 2 earned runs, I guess, 3 times all season. So I don't know how he's getting away with this, how he's doing this. His team has actually won 5 of his last 7 starts, but his strikeout walk numbers have been terrible. In the month of June, 17-16 strikeout walk ratio. You can't walk that many guys and be unable to fool hitters like this and continue to get away with it. 7-4 strikeout walk ratio this month. And he did just face the Dodgers, and he held them to 1 run somehow, and they won the game in extra innings. I don't know how he did it, but he walked 4 guys in the game, which, again, not a good sign when you're walking this many guys. I'm not sure that he could keep it up. Dodgers have hit him okay in the past in 120 at-bats, 20-12 strikeout walk ratio. Again, that's a bad ratio. 267 batting average allowed, 792 OPS. So his number's not that great against the Dodgers. He's going up against Clayton Kershaw, who I know Kershaw, I believe, actually pitched in the All-Star game. But for him, I mean, he's been there and done that. So I don't think that's going to affect him at all. I don't think we care at all. If, Kershaw got named his 11th All-Star game or whatever, who cares? Kershaw has been pretty bad at home this year, though, 4.73 ERA. So the splits are definitely in favor of Quintana, but I don't know, man. Because Kershaw actually did start pitching well prior to going into the All-Star game. He actually hadn't allowed more than 2 earned runs. Actually, he did it once against the White Sox. In his last 6 starts, he only did it once. Over the course of the season, he's only allowed more than 2 earned runs 3 times, more than 3 earned runs twice. He is actually pitching decently, man. He's kind of rounding back into form. Is kind of an aging pitcher, coming off definitely an aging pitcher, an aged pitcher, coming off of some injuries. But the Dodgers had won 6 straight starts of his before they lost his last start against Milwaukee, who he is facing here. But it wasn't his fault. They didn't get any run support for him. He gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. Pretty good start. His strikeout rate has gone down. Yeah, he's not the Kershaw of old, really. He's not coming out and blowing guys away. But, I mean, his walk number has been relatively low. He's not allowing that many hits. He's effective, at least. He did pitch in the All-Star game. Went 2/3 of an inning, struck out a guy, and only threw 6 pitches. So they didn't really. He didn't have to exert much in that game there, in the All-Star game there. So I think he's fine to pitch here. He's in decent enough form. Against the Brewers, his numbers are not great, though. In 76 at-bats, 276 average, 819 OPS. So Kershaw, I don't know if we trust him here, man. I was kind of leaning towards the Dodgers in this game to avoid the sweep. I still think Kershaw is the preferred way to go here over Quintana. Don't love the Dodgers bullpen at all. Don't like either bullpen, though. So it's kind of surprising. It looks like the money might be coming in on the under, because I was thinking maybe an over here. I mean, both starting pitchers don't have great matchup numbers. Total is flipped from 9 juice to the under to 9 juice to the over, though. But we see 65% of tickets on the over, 54% of the cash on the over. So the cash less so on the over. I'm leaning to the over, especially given the bullpen situation. Total is high for a reason. Cash looks like it's kind of coming in on the Dodgers, even though they're down from -157 to -150. 74% of tickets, 97% of the cash coming in on the Dodgers. You could look to the Dodgers' first 5 innings and not have to deal with this bad Dodgers bullpen. I do still think they're going to be motivated in the entire game to avoid the sweep, but I mean, you are looking at 2 good offenses, too, so I still think the over might be the better way to look at that game, even though I know it seems like it's basically just too easy almost. The public is just going to be on it over in that one, and it's 2 good offenses, but that's just the truth. I mean, when it's at over, you kind of do want to look for 2 good offenses. St. Louis at Arizona. Arizona's on the verge of a sweep here, and they've outscored St. Louis 17-4 in the series. Sonny Gray got lit up yesterday. Very bad performance from Sonny Gray. A good performance from Ryan Nelson again for Arizona. And Arizona, neither team had to use that much of their bullpen, although I don't like either bullpen, really. Especially don't like Arizona's bullpen. But I also don't like Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals. He's not been very good. 4.94 ERA, 1.29 whip. I don't think he's the guy you want out there to try to avoid the sweep here. He's been really bad on the road, 5.58 ERA. He bounced back nicely after getting lit up for 6 home runs at Wrigley Field. He got lit up in a couple of games in a row, giving up 14 earned runs in 10 innings across 2 starts at Cleveland, who's a bad offense too, and at the Cubs. Bounced back with a decent start against Washington, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, and a 5 2/3 inning shutout against Washington. Maybe rounding back into form a little bit, and surprisingly, he actually is good against Arizona, even though Arizona's a good offense. This is a hitter-friendly park, but in 80 at-bats against them, he's held him to a 212 average, 659 OPS. Ketel Marte looks like he is back, or Ketel, whatever. He was, Marte took like 3 days off because his house got robbed, I assume when he wasn't even home. Who does that? Like, this is the guy who was crying because somebody made a "your mom" joke. And now he takes like an extended absence because his home got robbed. What? Aren't you supposed to be a professional athlete? And aren't you supposed to be a man? Like, you're a fucking pussy, bro. I'm sorry. It's one of the softest things I've ever heard. He might be the softest professional athlete out there right now. It's crazy. That is just crazy. Especially when you're the best hitter on your team and your team is trying to, make a push to try to get back into the race here. I mean, it makes no sense. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, Mikolas does have good numbers overall against Arizona. Merrill Kelly's pitching for Arizona, and he is obviously the better of the two pitchers. He's having a good season and just flies under the radar. 3.34 ERA, 1.05 whip. Pretty good both home and away. Pretty good last few starts. Well, last few starts this month, 13-7 strikeout walk ratio isn't that good, even though he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all of them. He's allowed 3 or fewer in the last 5 starts. He is pitching pretty consistently, but that walk rate going a little bit up is a little bit of a concern there. 13-7 strikeout walk ratio, 2.5 ERA though, but still walked 4 guys last time out. Maybe he'll settle back down because his walk numbers were not that bad in the previous month, but right now he's a little bit iffy, and his numbers against the Cardinals are not that good. In 79 at-bats, a 13-7 strikeout walk ratio. Hey, the same ratio. That's weird, man. That's the same ratio he has this month. Very strange. Simulation, man. We're in a simulation. 291 batting average allowed, 805 OPS. So Kelly actually has bad numbers against St. Louis. So the matchup numbers actually look like they favor Mikolas in this game, but is that really the way you want to go? I would not want to have my money on that guy. It looks like the money is actually coming in Arizona, up from -143 to -151. The sentiment being Kelly is obviously better than Mikolas. 74% of tickets, 90% of the cash coming in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I hesitate with it because St. Louis probably going to be motivated to avoid the sweep here, and the matchup numbers do look against it. So those are kind of my thoughts on that game. Don't really want to have anything to do with that one, obviously. But St. Louis, I will say that they are a little bit overrated, which is why professional money is also coming in Arizona, because you're like, well, how could a below 500 team be laying a price like that against an above 500 team, right? So the public is probably not going to understand why that's the case. So the odds makers are telling you Arizona is actually better than St. Louis, so that Arizona is actually a better team than their record looks. St. Louis is actually worse than their record looks. And I think it's mostly that St. Louis's offense is worse than what they had been doing earlier in the season. In Arizona, we just know that their bullpen is terrible, but their offense is probably even maybe a little bit better than what people think. Detroit at Texas is the ESPN Sunday night game. It is a pretty good game. It's an interesting game, but it might no longer be because Nathan Eovaldi was supposed to start. This is going to be a great pitching matchup, man. It's Skubal night. It was going to be Skubal against Eovaldi. Going to be a great pitching matchup. Eovaldi has some sort of injury, and he's been scratched. Yeah, tightness in his back. He's going to have to go get some massages, man. Maybe not the Deshaun Watson style of massage, or even the Justin Tucker style of massage. But, man, that sucks because this looked like it was going to be an amazing pitching matchup in the night game, and now it's going to be Skubal against a Texas bullpen game. So that really kind of takes away a lot of the reasons why that game was going to be the ESPN night game, man. It kind of sucks now. Though you do have two teams that are pretty decent teams. They're both above 500 teams in the AL here. Texas on the verge of actually sweeping Detroit in what has been a very pitching-heavy series. Texas winning 2-0 and 4-1. Kumar Rocker, our guy yesterday, actually, I did pitch well yesterday, which I mentioned I leaned to Texas in that one yesterday. I didn't really think they were going to win the first game. I thought it was a bounce-back spot for Detroit. I think Detroit should win this game with Skubal against the bullpen game, but obviously that means the line got absolutely skewed. It was going to be Detroit -148, which made it look like there might have been some value taking Texas with Eovaldi on the mound, but now with Eovaldi being scratched, and it's going to be Jake Latz being the opener for Texas in what is going to be a bullpen game, most likely. Detroit is now up to -195 on that line, so that's how much Eovaldi being scratched affected the line, and it barely affected the total. The total was sitting at 7 juice to the under, so basically 6.5, and now it's kind of just still sitting at 7 juice to the under. So to me, I think that total is actually too low, and I'll explain that in a minute. 80% of tickets, 89% of the cash coming in on Detroit. So Detroit is very public as well. Yeah, I do think Detroit will win this game. Yesterday, how much bullpen usage did we have yesterday? I think we did not have that much, actually. Yeah, so the bullpens are in pretty good shape here. We have two pretty good bullpens. So, yes, I mean, the bullpens do make it look good for an under. Obviously, Skubal versus Eovaldi looks like it should be an under. Skubal, I mean, he's still pitching tonight. It looks like it should be an under, right? I mean, he's excellent. 2.23 ERA, 0.83 whip. He's been great. Even better on the road, 1.97 road ERA. He actually didn't pitch well in the All-Star game. He gave up 2 runs. So there you go. Bubic and Skubal actually are the reason why the AL gave up 6 runs. They gave up 5 of the 6. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in 1 inning. He did strike out 2, but Skubal, not that good, and he wasn't that good in the last start before the All-Star game, giving up 4 earned runs. But I believe Skubal has been on the All-Star team before because he's been really good for a couple of years now. So maybe he just didn't really care that much, didn't really totally pay attention there. So, on the one hand, I do think he should bounce back from that, but he had a bad start against Seattle going into the All-Star game. Wasn't good in the All-Star game, and his numbers against Texas, even though they're not a good offense, his numbers aren't great against Texas. In 76 career at-bats, 23-6 strikeout walk ratio is good, but 276 average, 811 OPS. Texas has actually been able to hit him a little bit. Heim, Higashioka, and Semien all have home runs off him. So, Skubal, I mean, this might be one of the rare lineups that might actually be able to hit Skubal a little bit. Now he's up against Latz, which I don't even know if we need to handicap Latz. I mean, it's going to be a bullpen game. Texas's bullpen is good, but their bullpen is obviously going to be in the game earlier. So for those reasons, I do actually think that the total is probably too low here. We do see 58% of tickets, 72% of the cash now coming in on the over. I could see this game going over. I mean, Skubal, he obviously attracts a lot of the eyes here. This has been a very, very low-scoring series so far. Maybe this time it won't be. It is going to be the ESPN night game, though, so you're probably going to see pitchers maybe come out with some fire in this game. So I don't know. I don't want to touch the game, but that's the way that I think. And now we're going to go on to the best bet segment, although I only have one today. I'm being very selective, but it is time, baby. The best bet. I told you which game it is. If you know me, you probably already know what it is. It's the A's. We're going to go full game on this, man, even though I know we have to deal with a just awful A's bullpen, man. I mean, they have the worst bullpen ERA in baseball. I understand that. They have the worst bullpen whip in baseball as well. What are we doing here? Well, Cleveland's bullpen isn't much better, man. I mean, even though their bullpen ERA is better, the whip is bad. 1.34 kind of indicates that Cleveland's bullpen is kind of skating on thin ice and getting away with it. So I don't think Cleveland is that good either. They're in the bottom several bullpens as well here. So I don't love that. Actually, I'm just looking, wait, this is only the AL. Why is I hate how this is doing that to me, man. All right, now we have it here. So Cleveland, yeah, they're still in the bottom third though, right? So I don't like either bullpen. So even though, yes, the A's bullpen is certainly worse, I think we counteract that. I think it's a wash because the A's offense is actually way better. Looking at OPS, the A's are actually 8th in the league in OPS. And even though I know we're not in the A's hitter-friendly park here, but of course, it doesn't matter which park you're in, really, because it's going to affect both lineups. You know, both teams are playing in the same stadium, so it doesn't really matter. The A's are 8th in OPS. Cleveland is the 3rd worst OPS in baseball. Terrible offense from Cleveland. So I think that does balance out the bullpen disadvantage here. So I'm going to take the shot and go full game on this one. If you want to go first 5 innings and just go with the starting pitching, I think you could do that as well. The market is heavily indicating on the A's. They flipped from a plus 131 underdog, which there must have been a pitching change because there's no way Cleveland was that much of a favorite. The A's now at minus 109. I saw them at plus 110. I think you could still get them in an underdog price out there right now, but the real money seems to all be coming in on the A's. It seems like one of the strongest market reads of the day, and I do agree with it. 59% of the tickets are on Cleveland, 72% of the cash, though, coming in on the A's. I think this is a spot where Cleveland, I think they may not be in the greatest form here, man. They'd won 3 games in a row prior to last night losing to the A's yesterday. So Cleveland, when you have a win streak snapped like that, especially if you're not a very good team like Cleveland, I think Cleveland might be in for it here, man. It can kind of hang you over into that next game is what I mean to say. So when that happens, man, you lose that win streak. It can affect you in the next game as well. Our guy, Nick Kurtz, the best name in baseball, man. Don't say it too fast. Or don't try to say it 3 times in a row. Really quick, Nick Kurtz hit a home run yesterday, man. This A's offense is actually pretty good with him and Rooker and Langoliers. They got some good hitters there. The A's completely dominated yesterday. They out-hit Cleveland 14-3, even though Cleveland had a 2-0 lead early on. Cleveland, man, they're bad. Neither team used a lot of their bullpen yesterday, so bullpen situation, again, rest-wise, it isn't much of a difference between the two, and really both bullpens aren't really that good, so even though the A's are worse, I still think the A's, if they have to, they can use some of their better relievers here. Cleveland is actually not even good at home. They're below 500 at home, and the A's are actually better on the road than they are at home, so we do get the A's on the road here, away from that terrible Sacramento stadium. The A's are actually more respectable on the road, at least, so we have that going for us as well. And I like the starting pitching matchup with Jeffrey Springs pitching for the A's. Who the hell is he? Well, his numbers are actually good this year, 3.93 ERA. And, I like guys that have whips under 1.2. It's kind of a rarity, and his is 1.18 now. So Springs is actually doing well, and he's been better on the road, too, away from that bad ballpark in Sacramento. 3.61 road ERA, so he's been better on the road. Yes, he's allowing too many home runs. 19 home runs allowed. Very bad. That's too many home runs, but some of that is because he's pitching in that horrible Sacramento stadium. Again, 11 of those home runs have been at home, so he's allowed fewer on the road at the very least. And he's pitching well, going all the way back to the beginning of June. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every single start. In 8 starts is what that is. He had a 2.9 ERA in June with a 26-5 strikeout walk ratio. This month, 11-4 strikeout walk ratio with a 3 ERA. The A's have actually won 5 of his last 6 starts, so they're winning behind Springs. He's completely flying under the radar. He's only walked 1 guy across his last 2 starts in 12 2/3 innings, only allowing 9 hits in that span. Yes, allowing too many home runs. I know he's allowed 5 home runs this month. He keeps allowing home runs. Got to keep that in check there. But he allowed a home run last time he faced Cleveland, and that was the only run he allowed. So even though that was in Sacramento, one of his best starts of the season, he went 7 1/3, allowing 3 hits, 1 earned run against Cleveland, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. So yes, that does mean Cleveland is familiar with him, and they should do better against him this next time out here. But his numbers overall against Cleveland are very good in 37 at-bats. He's held him to a 189 batting average. A little bit of a higher 709 OPS because he allowed home runs. Again, the home run has been the problem to 3 straight guys, but I think we could deal with it, man, because, again, Cleveland's offense isn't that good. The A's offense can help them get over the hump here, man. I still prefer Springs to Gavin Williams, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, because I really hate guys that walk too many guys, and that is what we're going to get with Gavin Williams here. So, yeah, let's look at him now. Gavin Williams, don't trust him at all. ERA looks good, right? So the public might be thinking, oh, Cleveland's playing better right now. Cleveland has been the better team over the A's, the last many years at this point now. Looks almost too easy to take Cleveland, right? Especially at the point where you're almost getting Cleveland as a home underdog price. There's a reason, again, like, why do you see the A's, a team with such a bad record, being almost a favorite on the road? There's a reason why the odds makers put a line out like that, man. They're not throwing money away, so it looks almost like a trap line as well, where you'd be tempted to take the team that has the, more recent name recognition, the team that got to I believe they were in the ALCS last year, right? Cleveland, team that's been good recently, that has the better record here. But I'm telling you, that's not the way to go. Cleveland has lost some of the guys they had last year. And yeah, even though you're going to look at Williams and say he's a 3.7 ERA, that's good. His whip is way worse than Springs. 1.43 whip, really bad whip. He's just walking too many guys, man. Yes, he's been a little bit better at home, 3.29 home ERA, but I don't think he's to be trusted at all, man. He had a 20-13 strikeout walk ratio in June, somehow managed to have a 2.57 ERA in that span, and the start prior to that, he walked 6 guys. Actually, his whole season has been terrible, strikeout walk-wise. This month, even worse, 15-12 strikeout walk ratio, even though he's still limiting the damage. It's been bad. Cleveland's offense has been so bad that they have been losing every game that he's pitched. They've lost 6 of his last 7 starts, which is the opposite of what Springs has going for him. So we have that trend working for us here as well. So Cleveland has not been winning Williams games. His strikeout walk ratio on the season is abysmal, 95-57, and he's not been that good with the home run ball either. He's allowed 14 home runs this season, so that's not good either. He's allowed 3 this month, so it's not like he's not allowing home runs. He's allowing not that many hits, fewer than 1 hit per inning pretty significantly, but man, that walk rate is so high. it's just bad. So I think we're going to fade Williams here, man. And against the A's, I know they haven't seen him, but I think he's totally fadeable here, man. The A's only have 2 guys that have seen him before. Yeah, they're 1 for 6 off him with no other stats, but still, yeah, the unfamiliarity can only take you so far, man. And Williams has been in the league for a while, and he's not a pitcher that comes out and blows people away and that fools a lot of guys. So we're going to go with the A's here. We're going to go with the market read. I think it is the strongest market read of the day. A's on the money line. Hopefully you can still get them at an underdog price. Zach? Yeah, I mean, if you missed it, you can go back and see me talking about the Royals. I don't even love the Royals in today's game either, man. I mean, they have one of the worst offenses that we've ever seen. I mean, this offense is so bad. It would be the worst in the league if the Rockies weren't historically bad. So that's how bad the Royals' offense is. And they're actually even worse at home in a fairly pitcher-friendly park. That's going to do it for me today, man. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Happy Sunday to everybody. Once again, my only play today is the Oakland A's. Money line, getting them as an underdog. Hopefully we go 1 for 1. Sweep the board. Hopefully we get the win. Yeah, happy Sunday, everybody. Learn to Toad on Twitter. I switched my Instagram to Learn to Toad as well because I was trying to get verified, but they won't verify you unless you use your actual name on your account. I don't know what the fuck that is, so I guess I'm not going to get verified, but right now I am Learn to Toad on Instagram, and I am posting the Bettor Off Dead content, so you can go check that out. Bettor Off Dead also on the audio platforms, which I'm monetizing it, but I'm getting almost nothing coming in from that. Like, we're getting no impressions right now, so hopefully people find it on audio. Get that going, and Covered in Uke is going. You can find me on YouTube with Covered in Uke as well, and of course, Bettor Off Dead. Off Dead Bettor is also here on YouTube. Covered in Uke is my Uke YouTube channel. I am double posting now all my Uke covers that I'm putting up to Twitter. I'm putting them up on YouTube as well. I'm probably going to start dripping some. I'll maybe not do as many because I was doing like one a day basically for a while on Twitter. Maybe I'll dial that back a little bit, do like 1 a week or 2 a week or something, but drip some onto the YouTube. So I might be doing that, like drip old ones. I mean, not new ones. Ones that I posted on Twitter in the past that just aren't on YouTube because I wasn't posting them on YouTube. Just start slowly dripping them onto YouTube and start dripping them onto the Patreon. We're getting some Patreon supporters now. Patreon.com/LearnToToad. The bonus content that you get right now at the higher tiers, you will get a Spotify stream with the ukulele covers that are going up on Twitter and YouTube. So there's only one up there right now. I have a backlog. I'm going to do the latest like 6 that I have up there. Those are all going to be on it, and then everyone from then on will be up there, so you can get that as well. And, yeah, at the highest level, you get prioritized ukulele requests from me as well, and I might be doing some live request streams as well, maybe some specific for Patrons as well, so check that out. Thanks for all your support, guys, and help me as a canceled man. I definitely appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody helping out, everybody listening. Anything that you can do to help, man. Listen, subscribe, tell everybody about everything that I do. Rate, review, whatever. Like, comment. Thanks, everybody. Have a good Sunday, and peace.